Yes. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract joy and abundance effortlessly, while others grapple with dissatisfaction, no matter how much they have? The secret lies not in what they possess, but in how they perceive and appreciate the world around them. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling. It is a transformative daily ritual that can unlock profound success and inner fulfillment. If you are ready to uncover the overlooked power quietly waiting within your reach, this book will guide you on a mysterious journey inward, revealing practices that can awaken your life to unexpected wonders. Gratitude Unleashed: Create a Daily Ritual for Success, written and published by Intentional Prosperity. Chapter 1: Awakening the Gratitude Within. Have you ever paused for a moment and truly asked yourself what it would feel like to wake up every day already content, regardless of what lies ahead? Picture opening your eyes each morning, sensing a deep well of calm and joy within you. Even if life isn't perfect, we live in a world swirling with demands, distractions, and comparisons, making it all too easy to slip into the habit of focusing on what we lack, on the things that don't go our way, or on the problems waiting to be solved. As a result, it's not unusual to start the day with a heavy heart, an anxious mind, or a sense of dissatisfaction that seems to linger no matter how hard you try to shake it off. Many people wrestle with this invisible weight. Maybe you find yourself scrolling through social media, feeling left behind, or you hear about someone else's good fortune, and a pang of envy tugs at your heart. Perhaps you move through your day rushing from one task to another, feeling as if genuine joy is always one step ahead, slipping out of your grasp just when you think you're close. Life's small annoyances, traffic, unexpected bills, unreturned messages, start to cast a shadow, giving the impression that joy and satisfaction are reserved for other, luckier people. It's easy in such moments to overlook the small, nourishing details surrounding you. The warmth of sunlight on your face, a smile from a friend, the comfort of a safe home, or to dismiss them as trivial against the larger backdrop of challenges or worries. The real magic, though, begins with a shift so simple, yet so profound: awakening the gratitude within you. Instead of depending on the outside world to offer new reasons to smile, you can train yourself to notice, appreciate, and amplify what is already present. This is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending all is perfect. Rather, it is about actively choosing to see small blessings even on tough days, and retraining your mind to notice goodness, however subtle. The foundational step is to switch the internal narrative from "I am lacking" to "I am blessed," even with the smallest gifts. The beauty of this practice is that it does not require grand gestures or radical life changes. It starts with one decision: to intentionally turn your attention toward what is good, nurturing, and encouraging around you each day. Imagine the impact of cultivating such awareness, not as a sporadic act, but as a daily anchor for your thoughts and emotions. Over time, this steady commitment can transform dull routines into moments of meaning, unlock hidden reserves of resilience, and open your heart to moments of unexpected joy. As this gratitude awakens within you, you begin to shift from feeling like life simply happens to you toward a mindset where you are an active participant, one who creates and seeks nourishment, satisfaction, and peace from the inside out. The seeds of gratitude, once awakened, have the power to change not just your perspective, but the entire course of your days. Enthusiasm, gentle hope, and acceptance gradually fill the spaces once overshadowed by stress or longing, and small moments gain new significance as you welcome a more abundant sense of living. To begin awakening gratitude within your daily life, start with a simple exercise each morning. Before getting out of bed, take a slow, deep breath and silently note 3 things you appreciate at that very moment. It might be the comfort of your bed, the anticipation of a hot cup of tea, or even your ability to greet another day. Allow yourself to linger on these small truths, noticing how your mood begins to shift. Maybe you sense a faint smile or a feeling of warmth spreading in your chest. Throughout your day, consciously look for moments to recognize goodness, even amid routine activities. When you step into the shower, savor the sensation of warm water flowing over your skin. As you sip your favorite drink, let yourself feel grateful for its aroma or taste. If you feel overwhelmed at work, pause and acknowledge something positive: a colleague's helpfulness, a task you completed, or the genuine effort you bring to your responsibilities. These little moments, woven together, create a new mindset built on recognition and appreciation, quietly replacing habitual complaints or unnoticed grievances. Consider Hannah, who struggled with constant stress at her hectic job. Each morning, she woke up dreading the day ahead, frustrated by her long commute and the backlog of emails awaiting her. After deciding to test the practice of gratitude, she began every morning by writing down 3 things she appreciated, and continued by seeking moments to silently say thank you during her daily routine. Waiting in traffic became a chance to be thankful for her reliable car and the podcasts that lifted her mood. Instead of rushing through lunch, Hannah took a moment to notice the flavors on her plate and the laughter of colleagues nearby. Gradually, her mindset started to change. While the demands of work stayed the same, her experience of each day grew lighter. She discovered unexpected moments of joy, a supportive message from her boss, a stranger's kind gesture, or the humor in a hilarious mishap. Happiness felt close at hand. Each step you take toward welcoming gratitude invites a wave of subtle transformation into your life. Negativity no longer lingers as deeply, and a natural sense of resilience grows, helping you bounce back from setbacks with hope instead of discouragement. Positive thinking feels less forced the more often you lean into small joys, shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present and plentiful. Over time, you may notice relationships deepen, creativity sharpen, and the desire to care for yourself and others expanding. It ushers in a sense of worthiness rooted not in achievement, but in the remarkable abundance already scattered through your life. Now, it's your turn to begin this journey. Tonight, as you wind down, set aside a quiet moment to reflect on the events of your day. Jot down 3 specific things you feel grateful for, no matter how humble they may seem. Repeat this practice every evening for 1 week and notice the changes in your mindset, sleep, and outlook on tomorrow. Embrace this as a gradual journey. Moments of awareness will blossom and multiply over time, revealing just how much light is within and around you. Next, get ready to deepen this practice in the following chapter, where you'll learn to shift into a state of thankful awareness and discover how the mind's focus can reshape your daily experience. If this message touched you or sparked ideas, remember to connect with Intentional Prosperity. Your stories, experiences, and encouragement help this community grow and thrive. Chapter 2: Shifting into Thankful Awareness. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to discover moments of inspiration and gratitude amid life's ordinary chaos, almost as if they possess a unique lens through which life's details gain new color? Imagine drifting through an ordinary day. Emails competing for attention, errands clogging your mind, even the weather refusing to cooperate, yet someone beside you is genuinely smiling about the smallest thing, unbothered by what could go wrong. It is tempting to think that these grateful moments arrive by chance or are reserved for those with fewer hardships, but the truth is far more accessible and profound. Most people, without realizing it, wander through entire days on autopilot, overwhelmed by busy schedules and obligations. Their minds become so occupied that appreciation simply slips through the cracks, replaced by worry, irritation, or indifference. The internal conversation defaults to stress, replaying frustrations or anxious predictions, training us to notice only what isn't working. Over time, this can erode happiness and blur life's positive moments, making gratitude feel like a luxury for less hectic times or luckier people. If you find yourself racing through tasks, always chasing a finish line that moves further and further away, you're not alone. Many experience the persistent tug of unfinished to-do lists, overshadowing the quiet joys that await recognition. You might reach the week's end and wonder where the days went, realizing that some of your happiest memories are often unplanned or lost to the noise of routine. It becomes hard to pinpoint the good that surrounds you if your focus habitually returns to lack, demands, or disappointment. Small frustrations, the slow line at the store, a disrupted morning, the errors that pile up, become amplified, leaving little room for appreciation to root itself in your awareness. When your attention is trained uncritically on what needs fixing, the possibility of joy is barely visible past your daily survival mode. The liberating solution lies in a gentle but radical shift. transforming your ordinary awareness into thankful awareness. Instead of drifting through your day at the mercy of distractions and irritations, you begin to train your mind to pause and seek meaning within any given moment. Thankful awareness isn't just about feeling grateful for big, obvious gifts. It's about choosing, again and again, to direct your gaze toward pockets of good, no matter how fleeting or small. It's like developing a new sense, the subtle ability to spot kindness in a stranger's eyes, to notice the peace in one deep breath, or to marvel at the resilience in yourself as you overcome daily challenges. By regularly signaling your attention to appreciate the now, even when the now seems unremarkable, you interrupt well-worn cycles of negativity and awaken a sense of presence that reshapes your experience of every day. When you adopt thankful awareness, life becomes less about waiting for perfect circumstances and more about discovering meaning in the life you already have. Each grateful realization becomes a stepping stone, carving out a clearer, more joyful path. Through daily and even hourly practice, the routine fog begins to lift, revealing quiet sources of contentment where you least expect them. In this new way of being, you hold the power to spotlight the positive, rewrite old patterns, and invite gentle satisfaction back into the story of your life. With each small, intentional turn of focus, you step closer to lasting fulfillment, proving that a thankful heart isn't found, it's created, nurtured, and grown. To begin shifting into a state of thankful awareness, commit to practicing brief moments of intentional, conscious noticing throughout your day. Start each morning by sitting quietly for a minute and breathing deeply. Then set a clear intention. Today, I will notice the good around me. As the day unfolds, make it a habit to pause at random intervals, perhaps as you wait in line, hear your phone buzz, or feel stressed. In each pause, quickly scan your environment or your own feelings and consciously claim appreciation for something in that moment. This could be the sunlight streaming through your window, the refreshing taste of water, a kind word from a friend, or simply your own perseverance. Allow this acknowledgement to settle in, even briefly, before you move forward. To reinforce this new orientation, consider keeping a small notepad or using your phone to jot down quick notes of gratitude as you encounter them. Reviewing these mini reflections in the evening can powerfully reinforce positive momentum and help you see just how much goodness weaves through your day. Imagine Michael, a father of two working a busy job, who often rushed through his responsibilities feeling frazzled and unsatisfied. By dedicating himself to moments of thankful awareness, he made small but meaningful changes. Each time he sipped his coffee, he paused, not just for taste, but to appreciate the brief moment of calm it brought. When disagreements arose with his children, instead of becoming agitated, he stopped to appreciate the learning opportunity and the deep bond that family challenges created. On stressful days, Michael found himself noticing how even clouds in the sky or the laughter shared with a colleague could spark gratitude. Over several weeks, he reported less overall stress and felt more fulfillment in both work and home life, illustrating how small moments of intentional recognition gradually replaced his previous sense of exhaustion. When you cultivate this habit, your awareness begins to naturally lean toward gratitude rather than frustration or complaint. Daily irritations lose some of their power, and moments that once passed unnoticed become vivid and meaningful. Stress feels lighter, and you may experience more energy, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of purpose. Rather than postponing happiness for future achievements or ideal conditions, you discover that transformative contentment is accessible right now, inside even the simplest events. The more you practice, the easier it becomes, turning moments of awareness into an unmistakable thread running through your entire day. Take your first steps today by setting short reminders on your phone or sticky notes in places you often look, prompting yourself to pause and notice the positive around you. Challenge yourself to record 3 moments of thankfulness by each afternoon or evening, even on difficult days. Reflect on what changes inside you as you do this, making note of small but significant shifts in mood, patience, or enjoyment. Remember, progress comes from practice, not perfection. Every day is a new opportunity to see your life through a lens of gratitude. Encourage yourself to enjoy this process and forgive days when awareness slips, Knowing growth always comes in waves. As you move forward, get ready to deepen your practice in the next chapter by building rituals that anchor joy more firmly in your life. We will explore easy, uplifting routines to infuse each day with lasting positive energy. If today's lesson has inspired you or provided new insights, remember to connect with the Intentional Prosperity community. Your contributions and feedback are invaluable in helping us all grow together. Chapter 3: The Rituals That Anchor Joy. Have you ever seen someone radiate a quiet happiness that remains, no matter the ups and downs of life? You might wonder if they possess some hidden secret, some magic that transforms ordinary moments into enduring joy. In reality, the difference is often rooted in the small yet powerful practices they cultivate every day. Routines that nourish their sense of gratitude and keep their spirits buoyant even when storms come. Imagine waking up not with dread or boredom, but with a feeling of steady contentment that anchors you, helping you greet challenges with composure and opportunities with open arms. That reliable sense of joy is not simply the result of luck, but is the natural harvest of nurturing habits. Yet for many, life feels busy and overwhelming. Days blend together in a rush of appointments, obligations, and unanswered messages. Perhaps you wake up to a blaring alarm, your first thoughts circling today's worries, pushing past breakfast as you race toward deadlines. It's easy to lose sight of gratitude amid that hurried pace, as moments slip away unappreciated, and stress accumulates quietly in the background. When life is chaotic or routine, searching for happiness can feel like hunting for something fragile, always just out of reach. Even people with the best intentions can find themselves feeling disconnected, caught in cycles of exhaustion, with joy becoming something hoped for rather than something created. If you have tried to will yourself into happiness by simply telling yourself to think positively or to be grateful, you know this is rarely enough. Our minds need structure, consistent rituals that draw us gently back to the present and help make gratitude a natural reflex rather than an occasional afterthought. Here, the transformative solution steps in, establishing meaningful daily rituals that invite gratitude to take root and joy to become your steady companion. These rituals are not complex or time-consuming. Instead, they can be woven easily into the fabric of your life, tailored to what is real and achievable in your routine right now. When practiced with intention, these small acts become anchors, tying gratitude firmly to your days and building inner resources for happiness regardless of external events. At its heart, a gratitude ritual is any regular activity, no matter how brief or simple, that centers your attention on what is good, nurturing, or worthy in your life. Over time, these structured moments shift your brain's default setting from worry to appreciation. You create spaces to celebrate ordinary victories, acknowledge overlooked comforts, and reconnect with what matters most. The beauty of rituals lies in their reliability. When life feels unpredictable or overwhelming, you can return to something solid and supportive that brings your focus back to the present. Picture starting your mornings with 2 minutes of intentional gratitude, savoring a cup of coffee while reflecting on your progress, or ending your night by sharing what you're grateful for with a loved one or in a journal. These regular touch points don't erase your hardships, but they become gentle guardrails, keeping you grounded and guiding you back toward peace regardless of circumstance. As gratitude becomes ingrained through ritual, you gain resilience, see meaning in the mundane, and cultivate a joy that welcomes every new day. Anchoring joy through gratitude rituals begins with selecting one small routine and practicing it mindfully each day. The first step is to pinpoint a consistent moment when you can pause, even if only for a minute or two. This could be right after you wake up, during your lunch break, or as you settle down at night. Create a simple cue to remind yourself, a note on your nightstand, a recurring phone alarm, or perhaps leaving your gratitude journal beside your toothbrush. Each time your cue appears, stop and consciously identify something specific you are grateful for that day. Instead of letting this practice become autopilot, try to let each thought or feeling land fully, savoring the good things in vivid detail. You may silently thank a friend, recognize the comfort of your favorite chair, or celebrate a moment of small progress. Whatever it is, honor the meaning behind it long enough for gratitude to truly register in your heart. As you make this practice a regular part of your day, amplify its effect by bringing others into your ritual. For instance, imagine Emma, a teacher who found that her mornings felt rushed and stressful, with hardly a moment to breathe before classes began. She began a short 2-minute ritual at the start of her workday, where she would write one person's name and one thing about her job that she appreciated. Sometimes the energy of her students, other times the steady support of her colleagues. Eventually, Emma invited her students to share one thing they were grateful for each morning as class began. Not only did she feel a shift in her own mood and focus, but the entire classroom culture became more resilient and positive as students started to look forward to this daily touchpoint. Another example is Alex, who made it a habit to text a grateful message to a loved one before dinner each evening, forging stronger bonds and strengthening his sense of connection and support even on difficult days. With repetition, the gratitude ritual grew into a cherished anchor that changed the rhythm of the day. There is immense power in simple repetition. Committing to even one brief daily practice gradually rewires your mind to look for what's good and possible, countering old wiring that only predicted stress or disappointment. You may begin to notice your mood staying steadier through setbacks, your relationships growing in warmth, and your inner dialogue shifting from critical to supportive. When gratitude becomes embedded in your rhythms, moments of joy appear with greater frequency and depth, weathering any outside storm. Anchoring your days in gratitude rituals also unlocks resilience, allowing you to come home to peace and strength even when circumstances are unpredictable. Through these developed rituals, you construct a foundation of joy that can support you time and again. Tonight, take a moment to choose one gratitude ritual you'd like to try for the week ahead. Keep your intentions small and realistic so that you'll feel encouraged by your progress. Perhaps it's a single entry in a gratitude journal or a nightly conversation with a friend or family member where you both share moments of appreciation. Notice at the end of the week any changes in your outlook, how you relate to obstacles, or the way you connect with others. Remember, each ritual is a quiet investment in your well-being, and like any healthy routine, its rewards grow steadily over time. This journey is yours to shape, each day offering fresh ground for gratitude to take root anew. Looking forward, the next chapter will guide you to expand these rituals into a mindset of daily abundance, transforming a focus on scarcity into a life that feels full and rich. If these practices resonated with you, we invite you to engage with the Intentional Prosperity community, share your reflections, offer ideas for future topics, or support others in their own paths to gratitude and joy. Let's keep building this collective journey together. Chapter 4. From Scarcity to Daily Abundance. What if the treasure you seek in life can't be added to your pocket or bank account, but is instead discovered in your everyday moments? Imagine a world where you step outside each morning and notice a richness that has little to do with money or possessions, a deep satisfaction blooming from things as simple as a warm greeting, a gentle sunrise, or the laughter of loved ones. This, at its core, is what it means to live with a spirit of abundance. Yet for so many, daily life can feel like an endless series of battles just to have enough, where the pressure to strive for more leaves you with the constant sense that something is missing. It's easy for this feeling to creep in silently, telling you that contentment is still out of reach, and that what you have will never be quite enough. Almost everyone at one time or another has experienced the gripping mindset of scarcity. Perhaps you've felt it in the tension of watching bills add up, envying a peer's achievements, or measuring your happiness by fleeting likes and follows online. Scarcity isn't just about money. It seeps into how you judge your relationships, how you value your own accomplishments, and even how you view simple joys. In times of comparison, a perfect meal is ruined because it wasn't quite as fancy as someone else's, or a loving moment is quickly forgotten when your mind jumps to the stresses that still need solving. This scarcity mindset amplifies what is lacking rather than honoring what is present, leaving life feeling like a race that can never be truly won. The consequence is a pattern of chronic dissatisfaction, anxiety, and a hesitance to fully enjoy today's gifts, fearing there will not be enough for tomorrow. But you do not have to stay bound to this way of thinking. The transformative solution begins with reshaping the lens through which you experience your everyday world. From one that narrows in on what is scarce, to one that seeks the abundance right in front of you, hidden in plain sight. At the heart of this change is the daily practice of consciously appreciating the resources, opportunities, and connections you already possess. It is a mindset supported by gratitude, but goes beyond, inviting you to pause and notice all that enriches your life that you may usually overlook. True abundance is found not in accumulation, but in attention. The attention you devote to small victories, meaningful interactions, beauty in nature, and the skills or kindness you offer and receive. With practice, this shift doesn't require you to ignore hardship or pretend challenges do not exist. Instead, it empowers you to expand your focus so that difficulty does not eclipse joy or potential. As you embrace this new perspective, daily abundance becomes something you nurture rather than chase. You learn to celebrate your progress, find satisfaction in simple pleasures, and open up the possibility for greater peace and fulfillment. Over time, this abundant awareness transforms even routine days into meaningful adventures, and a quiet confidence replaces the restless hunt for more. Your world feels less limited, your mood grows lighter, and you become someone who recognizes prosperity in all its different forms. To start transforming a scarcity mindset into daily abundance, begin by pausing at the start of each day to recognize simple, existing forms of richness in your life. Make it a point each morning to name 3 things you already have that bring you joy, peace, or support. This could be the security of a home, the reliability of a friendship, or even your own resilience through tough times. Speak these out loud, write them in a notebook, or simply hold them in your thoughts before your day gathers momentum. By doing so, you signal to your mind that abundance is already present, that you are not defined by what you lack, but by what you possess, and the ability to find meaning within it. Take inspiration from Jordan, who used to measure success solely by financial goals, and always felt anxious when his savings did not grow fast enough. After embracing an abundance practice, he began each day noting the skills he had built, the warmth he found in family dinners, and moments of laughter with friends as genuine wealth. Over time, his outlook softened, and instead of judging each day by what he acquired, he started experiencing a deeper fulfillment through relationships and self-growth. Similarly, Priya, who often compared herself to colleagues and felt she'd never achieve enough, altered her morning routine to include a 2-minute abundance scan. She would scan her life for opportunities that were already present, such as learning from a supportive boss, reconnecting with an old friend, or simply appreciating the quiet strength in finishing a tough week. This small, daily act began to reduce her anxiety and opened her eye to the resources constantly at her disposal. After morning recognition, extend your practice by creating abundance moments during transitions in your day. Whenever you switch tasks or find yourself waiting, maybe in line or on your commute, take a breath and reflect on something abundant within that very situation. You might be waiting at a red light, frustrated and impatient, but you use that minute to remember the freedom of having transportation or the music on your radio. If you are sitting quietly at lunch, notice the food in front of you, the energy it brings, and the many hands behind its creation. These intentional moments help shift your habitual focus from what's missing to everything supporting you already, allowing gratitude and satisfaction to deepen rather than dissolve when demands arise. When you make these steps part of your day, changes unfold gradually but steadily. You become more resilient in the face of setbacks, because you recognize resources beyond what money or circumstance alone can offer. Comparison loses much of its sting, and unexpected challenges become opportunities to look for overlooked forms of abundance. Problems shrink to a more realistic size, and small pleasures grow in value. Life feels fuller, and your sense of fulfillment, connection, and possibility begins filling in the empty spaces scarcity once ruled. End your day with a brief reflection, asking yourself what abundance you noticed or created, even if it was small. Capture it in a journal, or simply hold it for a moment of gratitude. As you nurture this habit day by day, Remember that abundance is as much a choice as it is a condition. In the next chapter, you will learn to actively rewire your thoughts through appreciation, giving you powerful new tools to direct your focus and reshape your internal narrative. If today's message encouraged you, share your story or engage with the Intentional Prosperity community. Your voice can help others on their path to abundance and gratitude. Let's continue to build a life of meaning, side by side. Chapter 5. Rewiring Thoughts Through Appreciation. Imagine if every negative thought lost its grip the moment you chose to see something good. Picture your inner voice quieting its usual criticism or fear, and instead whispering affirmations, hope, and encouragement. What if you could move through your daily routine, gently steering your focus away from frustration or self-doubt and toward gratitude, patience, and clarity? The truth is, your mind holds immense power. Thoughts shape feelings, feelings shape actions, and actions weave the story of your life. However, most of us are so accustomed to the relentless noise of self-judgment, imagined worst-case scenarios, and endless what-ifs, that it can seem impossible to locate peace. In a world overflowing with uncertainty, setbacks, and increasing demands, our thoughts often conspire to reaffirm stress, worry, and a persistent sense of not being enough. It's perfectly normal to get caught in loops of negative thinking. Maybe you wake up reviewing a list of unfinished tasks or criticizing yourself for yesterday's mistakes. By midday, you might be measuring yourself against others or focusing on each tiny setback rather than small victories. Over time, these habits become automatic. Even when your circumstances improve, your mind can cling to old patterns of seeing lack, danger, or disappointment, narrowing your sense of possibility and joy. This cycle is exhausting. The brain, when left unchecked, searches for problems to solve or things to fear, convinced that protecting you requires relentless vigilance. The more you worry or dwell on criticism, the deeper those neural pathways become, making it effortless to spiral back into old unhelpful habits. The result is often increased anxiety, low self-worth, and a hesitance to reach for meaningful connections or goals. But you can break this cycle. The solution lies in actively rewiring your thinking, intervening with the power of appreciation and gratitude. Instead of attempting to banish negativity outright, meet recurring thoughts with conscious acknowledgement and gently guide your perspective towards something good. This approach is both accessible and effective. Just as walking the same path through a grassy field leaves a clear trail, choosing to seek reasons for appreciation creates powerful new grooves in the mind. With consistent attention, your habitual thinking will gradually align with optimism, resilience, and gratitude. Even on challenging days, you'll notice that it becomes easier to awaken appreciation and see layers of goodness that once went unnoticed. The core of this method is to treat each negative thought not as a failure, but as an opportunity to redirect your mind's focus. When you hear your inner critic, pause and add a simple statement of gratitude or appreciation into your response. If you feel discouraged at work, deliberately notice a skill you've developed or an act of kindness from a coworker. If you're anxious about an outcome, acknowledge that feeling and find one small aspect of security or hope in the present moment. Just as a musician practices scales until they become second nature, you retrain your brain by repeating new thought patterns, teaching yourself to recognize and nurture positivity until it becomes a reliable part of your experience. With time, this practice empowers you to access greater peace, improve your self-image, and cultivate a steady optimism that encourages personal growth and happiness throughout your life. To start rewiring your thoughts through appreciation, begin by cultivating awareness of your internal dialogue. Each time you recognize a negative or critical thought, gently pause and question it. Ask yourself, what is true in this moment that I can be thankful for? The key is not to judge or argue with the negative thought, but to introduce an alternative, a sincere acknowledgement of something good or hopeful, no matter how small. Start this practice when you wake up in the morning, as you move through stressful tasks, and again before going to bed. This conscious pattern disrupts the autopilot of negative thinking and invites a gentle curiosity that makes room for new thought habits to develop. Keep a small notebook or use an app on your phone to jot down these moments each day, turning them into a visible track record of your attempts to shift focus. You might write, "Today I felt anxious before my meeting, but I appreciated my preparation." Or, "I noticed self-criticism about my appearance, but I am grateful for my health." Let's look at how this works in a real setting. Maria struggled with constant regret and self-correction. Whenever she made a minor error at work, her mind would spiral into self-reproach and replay the mistake repeatedly. By applying appreciation, Maria chose each time to notice one thing she'd accomplished, even when it seemed small. After a particularly tough day, she reminded herself that she solved a challenging problem, thanked her resourcefulness, and remembered receiving kind words from a coworker. Over several weeks, Maria's reactions changed. She still noticed mistakes, but they became learning points rather than proof of inadequacy. She described feeling lighter, more open to opportunities, and less weighed down by self-judgment. Similarly, David dealt with persistent financial stresses. Every time worry about bills arose, he stopped to remind himself of how he managed situations in the past, expressing gratitude for his creative solutions and the meals on his table. This subtle shift didn't erase the challenge, but gave him emotional resilience and greater confidence in his ability to cope. As you continue this process, positive effects will gradually build in your daily life. Your mindset begins to transform. Routine frustrations no longer dominate, while hope and optimism grow stronger with each repeated action. Negative thoughts lose momentum, making room for more creativity, deeper connections, and a renewed sense of self-worth. Situations that once triggered spirals of anxiety or defeat now become invitations for compassion and growth. You will notice more beauty in ordinary moments, find unexpected joys in routine days, and face challenges with greater patience and faith. Starting today, invite yourself to notice and appreciate 3 specific things each time you catch yourself in negative thinking. Record these acknowledgments and review them at the end of the week to observe shifts in your mood or outlook. Remember, every step has value. Even the smallest effort begins to chip away at the old patterns and create space for gratitude to grow. Encourage yourself on this journey, recognizing progress, not perfection, and allowing setbacks to serve as reminders for your commitment to growth. In the next chapter, you will explore how emotional mastery through gratitude can help transform reactions to challenges into fuel for deep emotional well-being. If these steps inspired your path, let us know what shifts you experience and share your thoughts in the Intentional Prosperity community. By exchanging stories, insights, or encouragement, we support one another on the journey toward a more grateful and fulfilling life. Chapter 6. Emotional Mastery Through Gratitude. What if you possess the ability to transform even your toughest emotions into a force for growth and inner strength? Imagine facing disappointment, anger, or worry, not as obstacles that overwhelm you, but as temporary visitors, softened and guided by an undercurrent of steady gratitude. For many of us, difficult emotions can feel like sudden storms, unpredictable, consuming, and sometimes out of control. It's all too common to go through your day riding a wave of emotional ups and downs, reacting to difficult news, unkind words, delays, or even small annoyances with intense frustration or sadness. Often, we do not choose these feelings consciously. They seem to take over. When stress builds and emotions run high, logic and optimism seem to shrink, leaving us flooded with reactivity and unable to find our way back to center. This emotional roller coaster can lead to exhaustion and a sense of helplessness. Perhaps your temper flares when a project falls apart, or unexpected criticism leaves you spiraling with self-doubt. You might notice anxiety rising as deadlines approach, or sorrow lingering when life takes an unwanted turn. The desire to control emotions by ignoring or suppressing them only seems to build the pressure. Instead of relief, it can breed resentment or numbness, as if you are walking through life wearing a heavy cloak you cannot shed. Many people wish for greater emotional resilience, but feel trapped by the habits of reacting quickly, holding grudges, or repeatedly reliving pain. In these moments, happiness and calm are hard to reach, and setbacks can seem much bigger than they really are. What if there was a reliable way not only to weather emotional storms, but to turn them into opportunities for self-mastery and peace? The transformative solution lies in harnessing the power of gratitude, to shift your emotional state and build new habits around how you respond to life's challenges. Rather than forcing yourself to be positive in the face of difficulty, you can acknowledge your feelings fully and then gently introduce gratitude as a stabilizing force. This does not mean seeking gratitude at the expense of your true emotions. Rather, it's about allowing your feeling space to be seen and then looking for even the smallest element within the storm worth appreciating. For example, in anger, you might notice your passion for fairness. In sadness, your capacity for empathy. In worry, your deep desire to protect what matters to you. By pairing gratitude with emotional honesty, you begin to break the old cycle of denial and reactivity and replace it with growth, learning, and self-compassion. This practice is accessible and clarifies that emotions, instead of being enemies, can be guides that lead you to greater understanding about yourself and your values. Over time, gratitude becomes a trusted tool in your emotional toolkit, a way to ground yourself when emotions swell, and an anchor that helps you pause, reflect, and respond wisely. As you develop this skill, you notice increased calm, resilience under stress, and a capacity to recover more quickly from disappointments. Emotional mastery through gratitude not only brings peace, but also unlocks the door to deeper patience, stronger relationships, and the confidence to thrive no matter what you feel in any given moment. To put emotional mastery through gratitude into practice, begin by creating a pause when you notice any strong emotion rising. The first step is learning to recognize and name what you're feeling, whether it's frustration, sorrow, anxiety, resentment, or even joy. Take a steady, gentle breath and tell yourself, "This is what I'm feeling right now, and it's okay to feel it." This acknowledgement gives your emotion permission to exist and offers you enough space to observe rather than simply react. Then, as you sit with your feeling, ask yourself, is there anything, however small, I can appreciate within this experience? Look for unexpected lessons or positive sparks hidden in the moment, even if they are subtle. Perhaps you see growth in your resilience, value in your honesty, or simply the steadfast presence of a friend who supports you. A true example comes from Carla, who frequently battled overwhelm during busy workdays. When deadlines converged and her stress would spike, she paused, breathed, and recognized, "Right now, I feel overwhelmed." Instead of pushing the feeling away or letting it take over her decisions, Carla honored that emotion. She'd then note something supportive, such as gratitude for her ability to ask for help or for a colleague who offered encouragement. Over time, Carla found her periods of overwhelm shrinking. She returned to a state of calm much faster and was more willing to reach out rather than internalize stress. Or consider Marcus, who struggled with anger after a disagreement with a close friend. Instead of letting the anger dictate his actions, he practiced acknowledgement. "I feel angry because this friendship matters deeply to me." Shifting to gratitude, he appreciated the depth of his care and the opportunity to learn better ways to communicate. This shift transformed the energy of anger into motivation for resolution, healing, and even humor with his friend as they talked things out later. With repeated effort, these steps become an automatic part of your emotional landscape. You will find yourself less swept up in old reactions and more able to steer your feelings toward thoughtful, compassionate action. The chaos of stress or disappointment will lose its edge, replaced by space for calm reflection or problem solving. Your relationships benefit too. By responding from gratitude, you become less defensive, more patient, and more likely to discover understanding in conflict. Even joy becomes richer, as pausing to savor it anchors the experience and prolongs its effect. To begin, try keeping an emotion and gratitude log for 1 week. When an emotion feels strong, jot down its name and one thing you appreciate about yourself, another person, or the situation as it unfolds. At week's end, notice how naming your emotions and finding gratitude alongside them helps diffuse intensity and cultivates perspective. Each entry is a step toward greater mastery, showing you can guide your experience even if you cannot control every circumstance. In your next chapter, you'll discover how gratitude not only changes how you feel inside, but powerfully attracts new opportunities and possibilities outside, shaping the very course of your journey. If this topic helped or inspired you, Please connect with Intentional Prosperity, share your stories or advice, and help us create a community committed to emotional growth and lasting fulfillment through gratitude. Chapter 7. Attracting Opportunities with Thankfulness. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to pull opportunities, good fortune, and helpful connections into their lives as if by magnetic force? What if the secret to attracting more of what you desire, a promotion, the right partner, or inspiring new chances, wasn't about working harder, endlessly hustling, or luck, but a simple shift in mindset that's already within your grasp? The seemingly small act of living with genuine thankfulness has a far bigger impact than most realize, quietly transforming not only how the world feels inside, but also what it reflects back to you. When you radiate gratitude, you become open and present, noticing possibilities you might have ignored, and creating an environment where others want to collaborate, help, or even offer wonderful surprises. So many people spend enormous amounts of energy longing for new doors to open, waiting for acknowledgement, or searching for that elusive break to launch them forward. They dutifully set goals and chase after them, yet beneath the surface, their daily habits are rooted in frustration, stress, or a bitter sense of lack. Whether you feel stuck in a career rut, wish for more meaningful friendships, or crave creative inspiration, the experience can make life feel narrow and out of reach. You may hear yourself thinking, "Why do chances never come my way?" Or, "Why do other people seem to get noticed?" It is easy to grow discouraged when hard work goes unseen, plans stall, or envy creeps in as you compare your life to others. Anxiety and self-doubt flourish in the shadow of missed opportunities, fueling a cycle where you try harder but feel even further from your goals. The transformative shift, and it is accessible for anyone, anywhere, lies in bringing thankfulness to the center of how you act, interact, and think each day. Rather than waiting for big chances or winds of fortune, you begin to express gratitude for where you are, what you know, and those who support you already. As you nurture this mindset, your perspective broadens. Unique collaborations and creative solutions stand out, relationships deepen, and you present yourself with a confident warmth that invites engagement from others. Gratitude acts as a beacon, attracting partners, mentors, and circumstances aligned with your appreciation and vision. At its heart, this is about understanding that energy flows where attention goes. If your focus is consistently fixed on scarcity and disappointment, your posture and communication pull back, closing doors that might have opened. When you intentionally thank a colleague for their effort, praise a friend for offering advice, or acknowledge unexpected lessons in a setback, your whole demeanor changes. People sense it, respond in kind, and your openness reveals paths others may miss. The benefits are far-reaching. Gratitude enhances your visibility, increases your likability, and empowers you to build trust and collaboration. As you live with thankfulness, new opportunities, big and small, begin to gather, not just through chance, but as a dynamic, ongoing response to your approach toward life. Adopting this perspective fosters hope, encourages resilience, and continuously expands the field of what's possible, both within and all around you. To start attracting opportunities with thankfulness, make the first action recognizing and appreciating what already exists in your life, no matter how simple it may seem. Begin with intentional, daily acknowledgments of those who support or collaborate with you, colleagues at work, friends who listen, mentors who offer guidance, or even strangers who create moments of ease. Practice sending a thoughtful message or speaking words of thanks each day. This develops your awareness of the rich resources within your reach and signals genuine appreciation in your interactions. When others feel seen and valued, they are far more likely to remember you, offer help, and recommend new possibilities. In group situations or meetings, take initiative to openly recognize individuals' efforts and contributions. By turning moments of quiet gratitude into visible encouragement, you create a magnetic presence that people gravitate toward. Consider the example of Julia, who spent years hoping for a promotion in her company, but often felt invisible among a talented team. Instead of focusing only on her own accomplishments, she began intentionally showing gratitude, publicly praising her peers for job well done, writing notes to her supervisor after inspiring conversations, and expressing real gratitude for feedback. even when it was difficult to accept. Over months, the energy in her workplace shifted. Team members reciprocated, ideas flowed more freely, and Julia found herself recommended for cross-departmental projects. Her transformation didn't happen by force or luck. It emerged through the ripple effect of practiced thankfulness. Similarly, Darnell, an aspiring musician, felt discouraged by the slow growth of his audience. He made it his goal to thank everyone at each gig, venue owners, new fans, and even those who critiqued his music. This mindset helped him attract collaborators and invitations, turning gratitude into bridges that multiplied his chances for growth and discovery. Once you develop gratitude for your current environment and circle, expand the practice to challenges and setbacks. When something doesn't unfold as planned, ask yourself what lessons or unexpected benefits are hidden within the experience. Thank the situation for its insight, the patience you developed, or the people who showed up to support you. By reframing obstacles with humble appreciation, you awaken the creative solutions and new relationships that might otherwise go unseen. Treat every closed door as a learning milestone and remain open to what shows up in its place. The benefits of these actions begin to stack. You will notice people eager to work with you, share ideas, and open doors you never thought to knock on. Professional and personal relationships become more enriching. Conflict or competition is more likely to transform into connection and opportunity. Your self-belief and optimism grow not just because of outside success, but because you habitually focus on what works and who walks with you on your journey. Today, challenge yourself to reach out with gratitude to 3 people you regularly interact with, offering specific thanks or praise for something they contribute to your life. Notice how this affects your mindset and the positive energy that returns to you from others. Keep a running list throughout the next week of surprising opportunities, connections, or creative ideas that emerge after moments of thankfulness. Let this exercise become the beginning of a new habit that shifts how you participate in your world. In the next chapter, you'll discover how to build on this grateful energy to create a life of overflow, where abundance and opportunity multiply and become a defining part of your story. Before moving forward, share your stories or thoughts with the Intentional Prosperity community and help inspire others on their own gratitude journeys as well. Chapter 8: Living a Life of Overflow. What if each day could feel like you were drinking from a deep, never-ending well of richness and possibility? Imagine a life where contentment, energy, and kindness are so abundant within you that they naturally spill over, touching everything and everyone you encounter. A life of overflow is not simply one where you have enough, but rather one where the sense of fullness you cultivate through gratitude and awareness continually expands, fueling resilience, pleasure, and purpose on a scale that surpasses your earlier expectations. This might sound like a distant dream if you've experienced years shaped by scarcity, stress, or self-protection. Yet, more often than not, people underestimate the power they hold to move beyond survival and shift into genuine flourishing. The struggle, for most, is painfully familiar. You may feel like you are constantly running behind, always trying to solve the next problem, or brace for the next disappointment. There are times when rest feels impossible because you are haunted by what still needs fixing, and any brief joy quickly gets crowded out by new worries. You might sense that even when good things do arrive, an unexpected compliment, a small windfall, an offer of help, doubt undermines your ability to enjoy them, telling you it won't last. The anxiety driven by a belief in not enough doesn't just cloud your happiness, it also limits your willingness to give freely, to trust others, or to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Living always at the threshold of just enough to get by can numb your connection to your passions and your purpose. The transformative answer is simple but powerful, a grateful awareness that makes you a vessel for abundance, rather than a fearful gatekeeper. It starts by acknowledging that your sense of fullness does not rely exclusively on your circumstances or possessions. This foundation comes from learning to recognize moments of beauty, to savor small pleasures, and to celebrate what you already have. Turning these sources of gratitude into habits so strong that they become your default setting. Instead of stockpiling your energy, your time, or your warmth in the hope of future security, You let gratitude guide you into giving, sharing, and connecting in the present. Through this shift, overflow takes root. You move from being someone who worries about every scarcity to someone who radiates confidence in life's ability to replenish and surprise. Picture the change. When you consistently return to gratitude, your reserves of patience, compassion, and joy deepen. Challenges appear more manageable because you are not approaching them from a place of emptiness, but from a surplus that overflows. Generosity becomes effortless because you trust that kindness and resources you offer truly circulate in return. Over time, you start to surround yourself with people and experiences that reflect back the same spirit of abundance you embody. Living a life of overflow shifts your whole orientation toward the future. It energizes your ambition, accelerates healing, and inspires others to grow alongside you. In this way, your practice of gratitude becomes much more than self-care. It expands across your relationships, your community, and even the causes you care about most. To move into a life of overflow, the first step is to make gratitude a reflex that lights your way through moments big and small. Begin each morning by sitting in quiet reflection and asking yourself, what already fills my life with meaning or beauty today? Choose 3 things, no matter how simple, that you genuinely value. Then, throughout your day, look for new chances to add to your list. Actively notice sensations and experiences that nurture you. A friendly greeting, a favorite meal, even challenges that remind you of your own courage. Make it a habit to recognize these gifts, not passively or with obligation, but with authentic delight each time you realize their presence. Whenever possible, share your appreciation. Thank a family member openly, compliment a friend's kindness, or let a coworker know you appreciate their reliability. This direct, consistent communication brings your gratitude into the world and strengthens your relationships, creating positive cycles of mutual encouragement and joy. As you anchor this awareness in your routine, look for moments when you can practice generosity, even in small ways. Giving might mean sharing encouragement, offering your time, listening deeply, or providing help where it's needed. Take the story of Leah, for example, who felt her days were uninspired and her relationships distant. When she committed to thanking at least 2 people daily for something specific and offering small acts of kindness, she discovered that her energy and mood dramatically improved. Over time, her thankfulness attracted opportunities for connection, resulting in deeper bonds at work and vibrant friendships outside her usual circle. Or consider Amar, who doubted whether anything he did mattered in the world. By journaling nightly on moments he felt gratitude and deliberately volunteering for causes close to his heart, he began to see how his unique presence and contribution made a tangible difference for others. The more Amar leaned into giving, the more meaning and satisfaction blossomed in his life. Let one of your daily rituals be celebrating overflow. Pick a short time each evening to reflect on not only what you've received, but also how much you were able to give or share. Ask, how did my gratitude and effort spill into the lives of others today? Notice the way this practice lifts your self-esteem, opens you further to possibility, and soothes anxieties about scarcity. Participation becomes easier. You start saying yes to invitations, seeking out collaboration, and viewing challenges as calls to contribution rather than defensiveness. Each instance of giving and receiving gratitude becomes fuel for renewed hope and creativity, supporting you in every future season. For your practical exercise this week, create a running overflow log. At the end of each day, write down moments of unexpected abundance, places where life gave you more than you asked, where you shared freely, or where connection and kindness exceeded your expectations. Over days and weeks, observe how your sense of overflow swells, making the journey feel lighter and each interaction shine brighter. Embrace the ongoing nature of this process. There will be days you feel challenged, worried, or even momentarily empty. But by continually circling back to gratitude and letting it overflow, you'll cultivate a spirit that grows stronger, more generous, and more alive with each turn. As you walk this gratitude path, remember that a life of overflow is not a final destination, but a continuous, unfolding expansion. Each grateful moment is another brick in your foundation for lasting fulfillment. Keep reaching, Keep giving and keep sharing your story so that the ripple of your abundance spreads even further. And as this chapter closes, take inspiration from your journey to inspire others. Nurture a community around gratitude, support the intentional prosperity mission. Share your thoughts and encourage those ready to step beyond enough toward true overflow. As you reach the end of this journey, reflect on all the ways gratitude can quietly transform every area of your life, from waking up to small blessings and nurturing thankful awareness, to forming daily rituals that ground you in joy, shifting from scarcity to abundance, and rewiring your thoughts with appreciation. Each chapter has offered you practical tools and encouragement for lasting personal growth. You've explored emotional mastery, learned to attract new opportunities with thankfulness, and seen how living from a sense of overflow creates a life richer in meaning, resilience, and connection. Thank you for giving your time and attention to this book and opening yourself to the power of intentional gratitude. If this content has inspired or supported you in any way, please like the video, share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, and subscribe to the Intentional Prosperity YouTube channel to continue growing together.